What's up, everybody? Jason from Straight Edge, and I've got another knife review for you today. And guys, it is on a Tkell knife, the Tkell Knives Ops Striker. Guys, check this bad boy out. Man, look at this thing. This is a sweet full-size blade, but man, this thing is coming in so light, so ready to rock and roll. I mean, this thing feels quick, fast. Oh, it's ready to put in some work, guys. Awesome looking blade. Check this thing out. Love it, man. I love this little. I got this drop point. Got a belly to it. It's got a nice swedge. I mean, it's ready to put in some work, guys. Beautiful knife. But before we get any farther into the video, I do have to give a quick word from our sponsor guy, Wicked Industries, guys. They're the makers of Wicked Wax and Wicked Clean. Both products that I love to use. I utilize the Wicked Clean to clean my blades up after I do my reviews. I utilize the Wicked Wax to help preserve them, keep them safe while they're in storage, stuff like that, especially if I'm going into high humid environments or wet environments. Wicked Wax really does a great job of helping rust from not developing on your high carbon blades. The Wicked Clean does a great job of getting any light rust that does develop on them off, or just gunk and stuff like that that builds up on them after you've been doing your knife task, right? So both awesome products. They work fantastic. And then typically when I'm done doing my reviews, my hands are beat up. I wash my hands a lot because of work. My hands get ate up. I get a lot of cuts and nicks, and I utilize Wicked Rescue, guys, to help my hands heal up a little bit faster, help keep them moisturized. Stuff works awesome. It's 100% all natural. It's got shea butter, beeswax, vitamin E, manuka honey, and coconut oil, made right here in the USA. Helps keep your hands nice and moisturized. Those elbows, those feet, all those dry spots. Utilize Wicked Rescue. Help keep them nice and moisturized and help your hands heal up. So big shout out to Wicked Industries, guys. There will be a link in the description below for Wicked Industries. Go ahead and click that link and check them out. But guys, let's get back to Tkell Knives, guys. So I've done quite a few reviews on Tkell Knives, guys. I've reviewed a bunch of them, and I swear every one of them has been fantastic. Not just blowing smoke. They're just really great blades. Tim over there at Tkell does a fantastic job. He puts a lot of thought and effort into his blades. As far as the ergonomics go, the blade grind, the edge. I mean, these things, they come ridiculously sharp and ready to work, man, out of the box. And they're tough, and you can beat them up. And they're one of the only companies in the industry that's putting a nickel boron coating on the blades to help also protect them, give them more corrosion resistance, but it also gives it this really slick feel. So like when you're cutting through materials, it just glides through like butter. I don't know if anybody else in the knife industry is putting a nickel boron coating on their blades. So it's pretty awesome, guys. And at first I thought, well, is it really gonna make a difference? After I started utilizing his blades and cutting through stuff, I'm like, man, this stuff works great. It's just a fantastic coating. It holds up really well. Holds up better than Cerakote. Holds up better than powder coat. Stuff like that. It's just on there, and it's part of the blade. It almost adds like a diamond coating to it, if you will. Like it's not probably a scientific version of it, but I mean, it really helps the blade, and it's just an awesome coating. And when Tim finds a handle shape that's very ergonomic and fits, he utilizes it. He puts different blade shapes and stuff like that on it. So the Op Striker is actually based off of the Striker knife, which I've done a review on. You guys can see here. This is more of like a little 3-finger grip. You kind of come in here, get 3 fingers on there, but you can still get a full grip on this knife and still put some heavy use into it. And in my review, you guys can see that. But I beat on this thing. I put it through, seasoned almond wood batoning with it and stuff. And you guys can see here, look at that finish. It's still really nice. Nothing wrong with it, Whereas with like powder coat and stuff, you would have seen where I was batoning. You would see marks up the blade. Some of that coating came off. But you can see here, the Op Striker is basically the big brother to the Striker. Same blade shape, just bigger. The handle shape is a little different, but it is, it was made different, obviously, to fit the bigger blade. And there is another Ops blade out there. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but very cool blade. I like it a lot. I really like the Striker. And so when I was able to get my hands on the Op Striker, I was like, heck yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about, man, because this thing is just very ergonomic, very slick, very fast. For its size, it is deceptively light. Like, this thing is quick. I mean, come in. I mean, if you're into combatants and stuff like that, you can come in and do a lot of really quick stuff with this, transitions, things like that. I can't really do that. I'm not an expert with it, like with combatant type stuff against zombies, but I can swing it if I need to. You do have really nice ergonomic handles. You do have a little bit of an attitude adjuster here on the back. You guys can see there, comes in handy, and you don't want to, you just want to give that, zombie a little adjustment, not like the full tilt boogie. You know what I'm saying? That comes in handy. Also, smashing out windows and stuff like that, and vehicle emergencies, if you will, comes in handy. But this has a really nice grip. My big old meat paws can get my hands on there, get my thumb on the back for harder cutting tasks. When I got a hold of this knife, like I know I have a hold of it. I can grab it and I know it's not coming out of my hand. You know what I mean? It feels really, really good. And even with this attitude adjuster on the back, when I bring my thumb over the top for that reverse, the little notch in my thumb right here goes right over the top of the attitude adjuster. It doesn't hurt my thumb. It actually molds into my thumb. So now I have definitely positive for any stabbing type of task that I might have to do, piercing tasks. I know my thumb's over top, my hand ain't going to slip. And you do have enough of a finger choil here that your hand isn't going to slip onto that blade edge either. So very, very well done. Awesome blade. I mean, this is, if you're into military, law enforcement, first responder type of stuff, anything like that. Or if you're just somebody who likes carrying a big blade, I mean, this thing was made to go onto a plate carrier vest, made to go onto a duty belt, a battle belt. If you just want to have something that's a little bigger, a little more robust, it's going to handle those zombies, but also handle some wood tasks and things like that. The Ops series of blades from TKL Knives is definitely worth looking at. Let's get into the specs on this guy. So this is the Ops Striker. The blade thickness on this is 0.165. The blade hardness is 61 HRC. It's dual tempered deep cryo heat treated. You have that nickel boron coating on there. The blade length is 4.5 inches with a width of 1.12 inches. And overall, you're looking at 9.5 with a grip of 4.5 inches. The weight on this, believe it or not, for its size is 6.1 ounces. With the sheath, you're looking at 7.7. So again, very, very light knife, guys. And right here is your balance point, essentially. You guys can see that. Right here with this little finger choil, that's your balance point. So if you're into doing all the cool flippity tricks and stuff, you can come in there and do all that cool stuff. Awesome. It's really well balanced for that. But, I mean, it's well balanced for just about anything you're going to do with it. And it does come with a very nice Kydex sheath. Tons of, you got the little micro holes, but what Tim did was he put these slots in here, and you have regular holes, so you can put, this has like a horizontal belt carry clip, but you could put beta loops on this if you wanted to. You could put tech lock on there. You could put a leather wrap around it if you wanted to. Pretty much however you want to set this up for your carry needs, you can. You can even put something like this Blade Tech Molly clip on here if you wanted to, and attach this to a duty belt, a battle belt, or a plate carrier or something to that effect. But I mean, this blade just is really light for its size and feels good. I've been carrying it at pretty much the 1 o'clock position on my belt. It goes across my belt buckle right here, but it doesn't poke out, and and I can just reach under my shirt, grab it, get it out, and put some work in with it if I need to. The sheaths are always really, really good on these knives. This one has just the tiniest bit of rattle, but most of the time they're like no rattle at all. So it is a little unusual that one has a little bit of rattle, but most of the time they're nothing. So it could just be kind of a one-off thing. I'm sure if I just heat it up right here, I can pinch that and it would take it out. Not a big deal. It does have a generous drain hole there as well. So if you do get some gunk and stuff built up into the sheath, you can rinse it out and the stuff's all going to come washing out. Especially if you're a hunter or something like that, and you utilize this for cleaning out your game. You might resheath this with some, stuff on there. You know what I'm talking about. You're definitely going to need to wash that out, right? So what's nice with TKL Knives, too, is you do have different steel options available with the knives when you're ordering them. So like this one in particular is 80 CRV2, which I really love. I love that steel. It sharpens up really, really nice, easily in the field. But I do believe these can also come in AEBL as well. I have to double check the website on that, but look them up. There'll be a link in the description below for TKL Knives, by the way, so make sure you go check them out. But you do kind of get some different steel options available with the knives, and you also get to choose your handle scale colors. There's a multitude of colors. If they're in stock, you can choose your handle colors. And if the color you want's not in stock, just pick something, and as soon as they come in stock, I mean the handle scales aren't very expensive. You can always get the color you want later on. They're very easy to swap out. It's nice. A lot of these knives I have multiple handle scales for, so Tim does a really good job of offering options for your blade. So definitely worth checking out TKL Knives, guys, for sure. Fantastic blades. But you guys want to see this thing in action. You want to see it put in some work. You want to see it do the stab test, the rope test, and all that stuff. You know what? Art, Jason, and Michael right here, they want to see that too. So before these guys turn around on me, let's head over to the testing area and let's see what this Op Striker can do. Alrighty, my friends, we're over here at the testing area. We're ready to put this Op Striker to work, so let's get this bad boy out. Give you guys another look at it. Look at this guy. Oh, it is sexy. I don't know, man. This thing just, oh, I don't know. I really got to take some classes on how to do some of that combative stuff, because I feel like that's what this knife was made for. Come in, pow, do your thing. Man, this thing is super cool. I like it a lot. Like I said, comes out of the box just wicked sharp, man. Thing's ready to go. So let's just get at it, man. So here we have the old catalog, guys. You guys know I use this for all my stab tests and stuff like that. Let me crack this bad boy open. It's a little bit damp. Where it was sitting at, my sprinklers kind of got to my bucket, but look at that. I mean, just ridiculously sharp, you know what I mean? Every TKL knife I've gotten has been ridiculously sharp, but we want to see the penetration, right? So we're going to come in over the top, walk our thumb over the top. Ooh, look at that. All the way through the catalog, guys. All the way through. Guys, that's pretty impressive, because I've only had a couple of other blades do that. Baby Moon blades, the two I did on that have both went through the catalog. Now the TKL, guys. Bam, tip is right there. It is right there. Went all the way through. So can it penetrate through some stuff? Yes, it can. Cut the corners off of this catalog already, but let's try to get a little whip chop going here. See if we can. Oh, there it goes. You guys see that? Ooh, I don't know why, guys. Just doing that's just fun. I just like doing it. I just like coming in here. Oh, missed it on that one. Oh, there it goes again. You guys see that? Didn't, kind of barely caught that one, but it was fun. You guys get the point. You can come in there and chop the corner off a catalog if you need to, and that thing is still sharp, ready to go. So no problems there. Guys, of course, we always have to bring out the fire hose. I'm going to need to get some more fire hose, guys. I'm getting pretty close to running out here, so I'm going to have to go try to find some more. My original hookup is not available anymore, so we'll have to try that. I'll have to find some, but here we go. Cut right in. Like butter. Just like always, man. TKL cuts right through that thing. No problem. I've not had any issues really with TKL knives cutting through the fire hose, guys, or penetrating into the fire hose either. Look at that. Dug all the way into the stump. Not a problem. So if you guys have to cut through some fire hose, stuff like that, which you guys know is tough. It's 2 layers of canvas and a layer of rubber glued inside. You know it's tough. It's made to go through all the car wreckages and stuff like that, so it's not the easiest thing to cut. Just give it a little whack right there. Cut through that piece, cut through that piece, cut through the rubber, and it's just being barely held on right there. And that was kind of a, I don't want to say a half-ass chop, but it wasn't the, oh, there we go. Yeah, cut through all the way, split it down. Actually drove some of the canvas into the stump. So very nicely done. Gotta love it. So, of course, accidents happen. Sometimes you got to remove clothing to assess situations to make sure that the person's not gonna, bleed out or something like that. Look at that, right into the pants. Cut this stuff. Look, cut that piece off like nothing. So if you had to come in, cut some pants and stuff off. Look at in through the back pocket. Look at that. Through the back pocket and everything. No issues there whatsoever. So, you know, imagine if you can go through jeans, you're going to be able to go through a t-shirt, you're going to be able to go through uh, Lululemons, whatever, you know, the person's wearing. If you have to get in there to render some first aid or something like that in the case of an emergency, or you just need to make some shorts because you're hot on your hike, you can do it. Not a problem. Here we got the old paracord guys. Sometimes it just seems a little silly doing this test with some of these knives because you're like, yeah, that's not going to be an issue, right? But I still like to do it just so you guys can see. Come in there, chop it if you need to. You're going to be able to cut through that stuff, no problem. I don't ever really, again, with TKL, expect to have any issues with doing these type of tests. So they just hold up. Here we got some not extension cord, um, zip ties. Had a brain fart there, guys. I'm trying to find a nice round piece. So we got a nice round piece here. We're actually going to zip tie this around. And I got this test from our boy Scott over at Choir Boys Cutlery. Awesome guy. If you guys aren't following Scott over there at Choir Boys, you should be. He does awesome videos. Super nice guy. Man, that dude's super helpful. Love Scott, man. I've hung out with him. Took a survival class with him. Great dude, man. But putting zip ties around something, you're like, okay, zip ties are pretty tough. They're hard to break. You know, you can't just break them normally. They're very difficult. So especially when they're cinched down around something tight, you got to kind of get that wedge, that tip under there. So it puts a lot of pressure on that tip and the edge on that tip, and you can just, boom, pop these right off. No issue. Almost cut my finger just now. That's still sharp, no problem. Tip is still perfectly fine. And what you will notice on this knife is it has a really nice swedge on it all the way down to the tip. So it's going to add some strength and durability to the tip, but still give it a needle point, right? So, I mean, this thing's got a needle point, I can tell you that much. So, zip ties, no problems whatsoever. Here, you got the rinky-dink kind of tie-down strap, guys. I mean, it's one of those we really need to, you know, do it. Yeah, it's going to burn right through it. So now here's the interesting one is this sissy rope that I have here. Bought this roll of sissy rope, and this stuff is oddly deceptive, and it's very slick, okay? Blades will just slide right off of it with no issues. Like it'll slide, the edge will slide right off, not even cut the damn rope. I don't know what it is. They coated this in something or what the hell they did with it, but it's really weird. So you got to have a pretty damn sharp blade to just cut through this without it just sliding off. And we cut right through it. If you guys see some of my other videos, you'll see me cut this where I'll go like this and it just slides right off like that. Bam, right there, right through it. So very deceptive sissy rope, guys. It's very interesting that it does that. I can't explain it, but it is what it is. So here we have a piece of this weird kind of cotton synthetic rope. It's got like this, I don't know, just cotton. This stuff is actually really easy to cut, you know, but cut right through, not a problem. You had to chop it in half. Kind of hit the stump a little bit there. There you go. You saw a piece go flying off. Driving pieces into the stump. Looks like I have a troll doll now. Yank that stuff out of there. So if you had to cut that stuff, you can. Got the old yellow sissy rope, or not sissy rope, but the yellow poly rope, if you will. This stuff is a pain to cut. Kind of come in here and cut some pieces off. I got a lot of this too. Bam, cut through it. Got double up, chop through both of them right there. Not a problem. So easy peasy on that one. We got the 3000 psi rated pressure washer hose. This has like a hard piece of plastic inside with some sort of a synthetic coating over it, fibrous coating, and then you got the rubber. If you had to come in here, do a precision cut, come in here, push down. Well, if I don't slide into my hole here, push down, just cut the piece off. If you had to, you can come in with this tip, because this is a really acute tip. Pierce in and kind of just roll through if you wanted to. You guys can see there, I kind of cut it half, pretty much almost all the way right there, and just come in and finish it off if you need to. Not a problem there either as well. So fold this over, do the reverse grip, cut through that hose just like that. So cut through 3000 psi rated pressure washer hose, you can definitely do it. Here we have the old extension cord. I really need to redo my cords here because I'm pulling the whole thing out. But got your extension cord here, guys. Again, you can fold it over, come in here with this reverse cut. There we go. Cut it through nice and clean. No problems there. If you had to come in and chop this, you had to hurry up and cut the extension cord because, you know, Billy stuck his finger in the light socket like a dodo standing in a puddle of water on the construction site. Billy saved. Don't do any of that stuff, guys. That was just a hypothetical, just so you know. Okay, so if you had to cut some wire, extension cord, stuff like that, you could definitely do it with no issues. This thing is still sharp. No issues there. Get some of the stuff back in here real quick. Open up this piece right here. It's still pretty sharp, guys. I ain't mad at it, I can tell you that much. Yeah, it's still pretty damn sharp. So, ready to go. Now let's get on to our wood stuff, guys, because that's what we want to see. We want to see what kind of wood stuff can this handle. What kind of wood could a woodchuck chuck? I screwed that one up, but I tried. Anyway, here we have the old tent stake, guys. It's just a small skinny piece of stick. I already made a tent stake on this part of it, so let's just hit this one time and get it stuck. Chopped it off. Now you're ready to go. So we're gonna make a tent stake, guys. Tent stake's a good thing to know how to make, or a vampire stake, or whatever you want to call it. But you can come in here, just hog material off if you want, no issues. You can sit here, dial this all the way down if you need to, get it to a nice sharp point. I personally like to just do it a little quicker. I'll come in here, do some quick little chops, get it pretty much where I need it, like so, and then I'll come in here and I'll dial it in, get it down to the, you know, either the really sharp point or a wedge or whatever it is I need it to do. I'll get it dialed in. Now we're ready for those vampire gophers, but we need to make a notch because we're going to stick this in the ground. We're going to have our paracord come around it to lash our tent or tarp down. So I like to come in here. I'll just roll, come down here a little bit lower, come in. I like to just roll in there using the bottom part of the edge. Just kind of slowly roll it in about a quarter of the way, sometimes halfway, depending on the stick. Sometimes it's easier to go deeper, a little shallower. Once you get it to that point, just kind of come in over the top where it stopped at, roll the knife back and forth a little bit. Bam. You can cut those pieces out. Now you got a nice little notch. If it's not exactly where you want it, if it's not deep enough, you can always come in, kind of clean it up a little bit. But you want to be careful that you don't go too deep because it will weaken the stake. If you go more than 50%, you know, it's going to become a weak point, and if the wind gets real bad, you know, it could snap it. So don't go too deep, right? So if you had to make a tent stake, vampire stake, you got it. TKL Striker has got you covered. So we're going to get into some little bigger pieces of wood here. So now we're going to get into, what are we going to go to? Oh, feather sticking, right? So let's say you want to make a feather stick. So you got your, oh, that's my tent stake. Got a piece of wood here, guys. That's not a good piece of wood either. I want to do something with a little bit harder. So this is a piece of seasoned tree bark or tree limb. You guys want to come in here and you got to make some fire curls for a fire. You can, but here's my problem. I'm heavy-handed, and so whenever I make my fire curls, I wind up cutting them off a lot of the times. You guys know this, so you can see you can make some fire curls. So what I like to do is stab the knife into a stump, and then I'll come in here. I can control the wood more than I can control the knife. That's just me personally. You know, you get somebody like Joe Flowers or one of those guys doing this, man, they can bang out some cool fire sticks, guys. I just can't. I'm just not that guy. And that's just is what it is. But you can see I can make some nice fire curls if I stick the knife into the stump and utilize the stick, you know. And then the other thing too is if I accidentally do cut them off, they land in front of my stick. They land in front of my knife right here. I'm not having to try to scoop them up off the ground. So if I do accidentally cut them off, they're still right here, easy to get to. And then I can, you know, pick them up, make my fire. So making fire curls and stuff like that, you're not going to have an issue with that with this knife either. So come in here, it's still nice and sharp. There's no edge damage or anything like that to it right now. It's still good to go, ready to rock and roll. So now we kind of get into the little bit of the heavier stuff, right? So can this knife chop? You know, that's a big question. So this is usually my batoning stick, but I have noticed that I don't like this piece on here on the back. So I'm going to come in here. This is a kind of a thick stick, guys. With this little kind of hook here on the back, I can choke down on this. Come in here, get some good little whip chops in. You guys see that? Getting some good chops in there. Now, this thing isn't designed to be a chopper, guys. Bear in mind, this thing is pretty light, 6.6 ounces, if I remember correctly. So it is going to take a few more hits to get through stuff. So don't come in here thinking you're going to be chopping through some big solid logs. You know what I mean? But if you had to come in, do some light branches, stuff like that, you definitely can. There you go. You guys see? So I can either continue to chop through this or I can just kind of break it off. There you go. So pretty good job there. So now I can baton through that here in a second. So now I can choke back and get some better batoning going, right? So if you had to do some chopping, you can. Do you necessarily need to be chopped through stuff that thick? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on your situation. But I like to do it in the videos because, one, you can see that the edge is still perfectly fine. No edge damage, no chipping, no rolling. It's still sharp. And you know you're going to be able to continue on surviving or doing whatever it is you have to do. So, again, we just cut this piece off. We are going to baton this guy. I want this to be a little bit flatter. So this little piece right here, we're going to come right across that with the batoning stick. Try not to smash my finger. Yeah, just hammered cross grain right through that. Everything's still nice and sharp. Swedge is still good. Everything's good. So here, you guys can see that's a big old stinking branch knot, right? And those things are hard to get through, guys. They're typically really hard as a rock. So I'm going to put that down right there. And we're just going to bang on through this, guys. Now, I'm going to be hitting up here on the swedge. It puts a lot of pressure on the tip. We're going to see if that tip breaks off or if it stays on. I don't think there's going to be any issues here, guys. But again, it's a Tkell. Right here, I'm coming right onto this knot right here. Right now, we're going to give it the pound right on through and split it like that. You guys can see here, nice knot. Knotty on that side. It's been a naughty boy, it has. All right, that was a little ridiculous, but bam, split that down. So now you can split. You can keep splitting this down, guys, to get it to the nice pieces to start a fire if you need to. We're even going to go across this way, like this, all the way through here. We're going to see if we can do that, and I don't think it's going to be an issue as long as I can keep the stick up. Bam. Yeah. Hey, I got a big old shark hook now. You go sharpen this up, man. Put a hole here. Might be able to go fishing for marlin or something. I don't know. But there you go. You can hammer through that stuff without any issues. If you had to go through something a little bigger, here we have this piece. Again, that's kind of a big old split part of a knot. We're going to come right over the top here. Bam. Split it with no issues, guys. Still got a nice sharp edge. Swedge, everything's still good. Everything's still nice and straight. And this thing's still ready to go, man. So you could totally, this TKLs are just tough as heck, guys. They really are. They're super strong knives. You know, I love them. I think they're fantastic blades. I've never had any issues with them. Here's some seasoned almond wood. We're just going to come right over the top here and just hammer cross grain right down through this. And if you guys have ever done this, you know it's really tough to cut cross grain through wood like this, especially just batoning through it. I actually kind of came in at an angle, but still was able to pound right through it. That puts a lot of pressure on the edge. There's no chipping or rolling, no bending, denting, you know, nothing. It's still ready to go, guys. So, I mean, they're just super tough knives, guys. You can put a lot on them, and they're going to be able to handle it. You know, here's again another kind of knotty little piece right here. We're going to come right down the middle of this sucker, guys. Now you're thinking, you know, hey, you're batoning a lot with this, because I really want you guys to see how damn tough this knife is. If I don't hit the other stick, come in right here. Okay, I'm coming into like the hardest damn part of this thing. You guys can see cutting through there, super hard, super tough. Blade is still straight, edge and everything still looks really good. This is probably one of the harder pieces of wood I've tried to baton through in a while. Oh, there it goes. Split that bad boy. Everything's still nice and sharp. Still straight. Put a pounding on that swedge up there and that tip. That's still good to go. But look at that coating, guys. Like, hardly any marking on it. Nothing that Wicked Clean can't get off. Good to go. I got dirt all over me. So, it's a tough knife, guys. You're going to be able to get out there, have to pound on this thing, especially if you're utilizing it in a first responder, military type of application. This thing's going to take a lot of abuse. It's going to help get you out of some bad situations, you know. So I would definitely depend on that if you need it to. So here we're going to do the old stab testing, guys, into the 4x4, 2x4 here. We're going to go 15 stabs, going back and forth, left and right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I might have lost count. 12, 13, 14, 15. Tip is still straight. There's no bending. It's still needle point sharp. It's still ready to rock and roll. So I stabbed in here. I went left and right. I went front and back, left and right, front and back, a few different times. Guys, that's side to side. That's some tough stuff on the tip, guys, for sure. You know, you come in there. If you're going to bend or break a tip, that is one real quick way to do it. So now we're going to do the old bow drill. You know, I call it a bow drill divot, but we're just trying to drill a hole, putting a lot of pressure on that tip and that edge, because that is always the thinnest part of a blade. And if you're going to crack something, it's a good way to do it. Now, I'm not advocating that you do this. Obviously, I'm not advocating that you baton with your knife. I'm just showing you guys that if you had to do it, you can. Now, obviously, if you have an axe, a silk saw, something like that, definitely use that, you know, first. But if you just got stuck out in the woods, had to escape and evade, and this is just what you had on you, and you had to come in here and you had a baton to get down to that dry wood, you had to make a bow drill fire divot. I can't even say the word now. You know, if you had to do that stuff, you want to know that this knife's going to be able to hold up. You know, if you had to come in here and you had to, you know, you had to survive and get yourself a wild boar like in Rambo, you know, and you had to pierce into some bone or something like that, you know, you want to know if that tip's going to be able to hold up. You know, you're going to be able to dig in if you have to, you know what I mean? And I've actually been sitting here spinning this way longer than what I normally do, and I'm not worried about it. This is a Tkell, man. Straight, no issue. Tip is still there. The edge is still there. There's no chipping or rolling. Still nice and sharp. Still going to pierce through hide or leather or anything. And then you guys can see there the hole I was digging in. So it can handle it, guys. I mean, this thing is ready to rock and roll still. I wouldn't have any issue taking this blade right now after doing all of this and going straight out and taking it to a survival class or something like that. I would still take it with, after all that, with still has a fantastic edge on it. It's still ready to go. You know, if you really wanted to hone it in, you could probably strop it and get it super dialed in again. I mean, lost a little bit, like just going through that stuff. It's always going to lose a little bit of edge, but this is still completely usable, sharp knife, guys, and it's ready to go. I really dig this, guys. Tkell, I just really like his knives in general. Tim, his wife, very small company, guys. They're making some banger knives, guys. I mean, these things are just great. Fantastic. He has everything from, you know, this to EDC stuff like the regular Striker, the Raider, the TS-87 tactical screwdriver is awesome. Just so many great blades from Tkell, guys, and he's constantly trying to get more out. Super transparent with pretty much everything he does, guys. Every Sunday he's doing a 2-hour live on YouTube, letting you guys know where the blades are in production, what's new coming out, what's being delayed and why it's being delayed. So when you order something, yeah, sometimes you have to wait a little bit to get it because he makes everything in small batches, but he's keeping you updated on what's going on with it, where it's at, and hopefully when it gets there. And you can't ask for anything more than that, man. If you reach out to them for customer service, their customer service is fantastic. Again, you're dealing with a husband, a wife, a couple of his kids, and like 1 or 2 other people that are working for him. And the customer service, it beats some of these major companies by a long shot. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you guys, Tkell is totally worth it. If you're sitting there saying, hey man, you're just a fanboy, hell yes, I'm a fanboy of Tkell Knives because their stuff is fantastic. Okay, they're one of my top 3 companies in the knife industry. You know, if somebody says, what are your top 3 companies? I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Tkell, Tops, and Work Tough Gear. Those are 3 of my favorite companies, guys. And the reason is customer service, first and foremost, is fantastic with all 3 of those companies. The quality is fantastic with all 3 of those companies. And the people that are running the companies are just top-notch quality stand-up individuals. I've talked with all of them. I've dealt with all of them. I've hung out with all of them. All of them are fantastic people. Tim from Tkell, Leo from Tops, Vic from Work Tough, all stand-up people. If I never bought another blade and I just was able to maintain those friendships with those guys, I'd be a happy man. So, you know, so if you guys say, hey, you're a fanboy, hell yeah, I'm a fanboy because of the people, and the people stand behind their product. I can tell you that right now, 100%. So, guys, if you're interested in picking up a Tkell, definitely go check them out. There's a link down below for Tkell Knives. Fantastic people, man. I swear to you, they are fantastic. And their blades are just as good. So, definitely go check them out, guys. So, Tkell Knives, Striker. make sure you go pick one up. And if you like this video and you like what I'm doing, please hit like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate it. And again, I thank you so much for following me on this YouTube journey. And if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, make sure you go follow me over there as well. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay sharp. This is the Striker from Tkell Knives.